Hey YouTube, it's a real American Bryan. Are you tired of your action figures lacking action? Are all of your action figures just standing around at attention? It's pretty boring. I have a solution for you. Check this out.
Yo, Joe. Talking comics, here's your host. It's a real American Bryan.
Alright, so I've always had this issue where I've never been happy with any of the figure stands I bought. For one reason or another, they do their job for a while, but I'll often come back into my office and find my figures laying on the ground, face down. And that sucks because then you have to set them all back up again. The other thing I really don't like is the complete lack of action. Yeah, sure, he can hold his gun up in the air or he can hold his gun down, but really getting any kind of cool pose is incredibly difficult. Then there's these cool action like doll stands several companies make, which are pretty cool. I still use them for like my ninjas that are flying through the air or any figure that needs to be in flight. They still serve a purpose, and I still like them. But getting them for any figure that you wanted in a dynamic pose is both kind of cost prohibitive and also space-wise. Like when you start getting these things further away from your figures, it just takes up a lot of space on your shelf. So I wasn't happy with that solution either. I came up with something I am happy with, though, that I want to show off now. Bam! Look at that. How does it work? The power of magnets. So basically it's got a couple of rare earth magnets glued to the bottom of Storm Shadow's foot here. And now he can easily balance on one foot and do cool ninja kicking things. Where getting him to balance on one foot on a normal figure stand would be a nightmare. I don't even want to imagine doing it. But this way I can create cool action sequences and create a narrative on my action figure shelf. Just to make the whole hobby of collecting action figures a little nerdier. But that's my solution. It's pretty easy. You can just get these rare earth magnets. I think the 1/4 inch are the best from my experiments, and putting two on a foot allows you not to have to balance things as easily. Some of the smaller footed models, like the Baroness and Scarlet, I was able to just get away with one magnet because there's not as much weight there, and they are going to be standing around a little bit more. But so that is my solution. So then what do the magnets stick to? Well, this has a steel plate in it. That's what I'm using here. But I was able to get small steel sheets of like 6x12 off Amazon. And then I got some vinyl wrapping that's in like a camo, almost like a slightly metallic camo pattern. To put on my shelves, and it kind of blends in there, and any of the figures can stand anywhere on that little space. So I want to go show that off now in my cabinet and how I have them all displayed so you can see what I'm talking about. Alright, so here's my action figure shelf that I have a lot of stuff displayed in. This top shelf is kind of like the traditional display that you see everyone have, and again it's like all figures that are just kind of standing there waiting to do something. I ran out of magnets, so I wasn't able to magnetize a whole lot, but one of the trickier things I want to do is really get Daniel here doing a crane kick. So I'm waiting for my new magnets to come in so I can attempt that. That's going to be a little trickier because I want him kind of up on his toes. He has a toe joint, but I think I could pull it off. So yeah, but let's get down to the G.I. Joe shelves. So again, I ran out of magnets, so like Gung Ho isn't magnetized yet, so he's just kind of doing the standard stand around looking. But I was able to create with the magnets. Oh, and Storm Shadow back here is using one of those action stands that I showed off earlier in the video. But I was able to create kind of a narrative on my shelf of, the Joes are over here hunting down Major Blood, who you'll notice he's kind of boring because he also doesn't have his magnets yet. But yeah, so the Joes are hunting down Major Blood, but then Zartan and Storm Shadow have kind of snuck up behind them and are going to take out Gung Ho and Duke here. So that's my little story for that shelf, which is pretty cool. And then down here I have, we'll start over here, kind of the Cobra leadership leading from behind, kind of pointing and yelling orders. And sending out a couple bats. Storm Shadow's kind of taking this one out. And these are the metal sheets and the vinyl coating that I used to get them on there. And if I don't knock things over, that'd be great. Showing off how effective this is, right? But yeah, so simple little vinyl sticker. I think automotive use is probably the most common use for it now. But yeah, so I got Storm Shadow taking out this bat, and then Snake Eyes is kind of like leaning back a little bit. It's hard to see because he's all black. But and I got some of the Action Force guns that are a little bit better, and little muzzle action there. And he's shooting this bat who has the damaged head and it's kind of falling back. Again, like, so some of these poses, I mean, even the Snake Eyes pose, it doesn't look that crazy, but just leaning back like that would be very difficult to do on a normal figure base. And like the bat falling back like that would also be very difficult without, using one of the armature type bases, which I didn't want to do. And the magnets are working out perfectly for me. And Spirit's kind of like down on a knee, firing a shot with Freedom ready to go. And then Sarge is kind of the Joe's leader from behind on his Action Force base, which those bases actually fit very well in the pegs. So I'm happy with that one. But yeah, so that's my little display, my solution for getting my action figures to do some action and tell a little story and make it a lot more fun to look at on my shelves. So I'd love to hear your comments. If you want to comment down below and tell me what you think, if you have another solution or if you want more details on this solution, just let me know. Thanks.